Okay, let's start today. It's about the Ansible. I see a couple of people has been already joined in for this meeting. Near about 13, 14 people are there. So let me talk about the Ansible now. So last week I was giving the presentation about the NetOps with the Python. Python people are very much, thinking about that whether to start with the Python or something because it is a very much of a programming language. You require to know all the basics of that, and how to do the programming stuff and other things, and how to interact with the routers and switches and other devices on the network or something. So yeah, it is a bit clumsy, and as well as that, Python requires a lot of practice as well as the patience also required for you to know, and then only you can start writing the Python programs and all. Like, but in this Ansible case, you may require something, but Ansible is more easier than the Python. I can just say that, but still, Ansible has got a lot of functions which has been borrowed from the Python side. So, I would like to talk about the Ansible now. Ansible has been there for quite some time. Means like I can just say near about 5 to 6 years we've been using that already, the Ansible. And this Ansible has been used only for the automation side on our network side because I'm a network engineer, and our company has been acquired this kind of Ansible solutions like that. We just try to do on our own. We've been writing the playbooks, and we will be running that Ansible for implementations, troubleshootings, collecting the reports from the individual routers or bulk routers like that. We just need to do all these things. So this kind of reporting, troubleshooting, and logging into the multiple devices and collecting all the reports is not so new. It has been already there in the Linux environment, which we normally do with that cron job has been there. Cron job means a command on the run jobs. The jobs can be run on like a scheduled jobs. It can run on certain time and date. So it will log into the particular devices and it will pull up all the information whichever the script is saying that. The same way which we are doing that. Like you can say Ansible is like more of a implementation tool, troubleshooting tool, or report collection tool. Anything you just say Ansible, it's mostly people will be saying that it's like a deployment tool. Deployment tool in the sense whether you would like to upgrading the certain things of the configurations you would like to upgrade it, or you would like to pull the new customers network, entire network, like say maybe maximum. I can just say his network has got some around 200 to 300 routers and 400 switches and some couple of firewalls and load balancers. So many network devices, when they would like to bring it to our own network, in the sense we need to maintain their network according to our standards. Like we will be having some kind of a standard templates which will be running on that. So that templates need to be uploaded to the couple of devices simultaneously in one shot. In the sense, we will be deploying the Ansible for to uploading that particular template to the devices, so that the devices will come into our own network, so that we will be starting doing the we'll start doing the management of this. Let me share my screen. Yeah, this is a PowerPoint which I would like to show you. I guess all can see my PowerPoint. Let me make it as a maximize. So I would like to give you the introduction about that Ansible. So Ansible is simple, and it is a human readable automation. No special coding skills needed. Tasks are executed in order, getting the productive quickly like that. And we can just talk about the powerful application deployment, configuration management, workflow orchestration, orchestrate the app lifestyle. Agentless architecture uses OpenSSH and with WinRM. OpenSSH will be used in the Linux-based devices. WinRM can be used for Windows devices. Like no agents to exploit or update. Predictable, reliable, and secure. Means like agentless in the sense. Previously, we were using the SNMP devices for like SNMP things for to do the management things on all. Like network management has been done on a simple network management protocol that requires an agent need to be installed on that. So then we will be able to do that on HP OpenView and many other devices that we require some certain configurations to do that. But those things are not required in Ansible. We can directly just go and like implement the Ansible product on this, Ansible solutions on that. So it is very simple and powerful and agentless. That is more important. And when you are automating, you are accelerating. Accelerating in the sense what? Like when you are automating things, when you try to automate some other thing, one second. There is some small interruptions. Okay.
What do you mean by agentless?
Agentless in the sense we don't require to install any particular software in the devices, which we are going to manage it. When we are running an Ansible, Ansible is just a playbook. We are going to write it as a playbook. That playbook is going to run certain commands on the devices, and it will pull up the things whichever we required on it. So that is Ansible. That is called as an agentless. So I guess I answered your question.
Yes. You playbook, by the word playbook, you mean script, right?
Yeah, it is a script. I will be showing you at the last session of this training. The session I'll just show you how to write the playbook and how to run it on a certain device. How do we get a login to that? Something like that. We'll do it. And agentless is like we will be using that SSH, but SSH should be ready. It's more of all the devices will be SSH ready. Then only we can log in and check it out. So that SSH, once it has been ready, we can able to run that Ansible on that device. Ansible is nothing but a program. It is not going to impact any performance of the router or something, and it is not going to like create any issues with that configurations or something, unless and until we are going to modify the configurations or something. So we all know that, but because we need to run these playbooks in our own laboratory environment like that, we just need to keep some of the devices to run it out. Whether it is successfully running out, then we will go for a production side. That is normally every network engineer must be doing that. So that we can do that. When you are automating, you are accelerating team impact. Save the time and be more productive. Definitely, because we are going to manage the entire network for us. Entire network in the sense what? Maybe like bulk devices which are yeah Vishal, asking something. Hello.
Yeah, actually, hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, I want to ask. So Ansible supports a multi-vendor, like it can SSH into any device,
Definitely,
any router, any switch.
definitely. It can log into Arista devices. It can log into Cisco devices. It can log into what is that? Some other devices, whichever you name it out. Brocade is there. Arista is there. Extreme switches are there, and Cisco devices are there. Any device you can log into that. Only thing is that the device need to support the SSH. Once you are having it, then we can able to automate that. It is not an issue. So Ansible is like a more of like an open source.
So,
It doesn't require
so
any. Yeah, please.
can it log in into firewalls or load balancer?
It is possible, but we require to modify certain things so that the Ansible can get into that. Means like we need to admit, we need to give an admission like that so that the device will be logged in from the Ansible on the outside. Definitely, we require to make some certain changes so that the outside login can happen to the devices like that. We will be seeing it. I'll tell you that what all things are required for us. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Then when you're automating, you're accelerating.
Yes.
Impact. Save time and be more productive. Means like it's a multi-vendor environment. We can definitely save the time, and we will be pulling the whatever the requirements for us. Like we will be writing the small playbooks like that, and we'll be writing it, and it can be run it in a simultaneously on a multiple devices as well, and eliminate the repetitive tasks. Like you don't need to do that same thing again and again. You can run the script on this, and it can be doing it. Means you can automate the things also. Like when a weekly report is required or monthly report is required or daily 1 hour report is required, like that we can start writing all this, and fewer mistakes and errors. This we need to work out that fewer mistakes in the sense if any human error has been there, definitely Ansible will do the errors also. That we need to see it out. Improve the collaboration and job satisfaction. These are all coming under the team impact and enterprise impact in the sense overcome the complexity. Complexity is like previously we've been using a lot of third-party solutions which requires a proper training for us, and we should be knowing about the multiple devices, how to configure and other things and all. So that complexity levels is very much reduced because Ansible, when you see the playbook, it will be look like a more of an English sentences only. Very easy to understand for anyone, and you can start writing that code within maximum in half an hour, 1 hour. You can write your own code on the Ansible. That is very much easier. You don't require to be a C++ programming and Python and other things. You don't require at all. But certain commands we need to understand so that we can pull out what reports we may require, what outputs we are looking for that. So those things we just need to understand, because every box has got its own commands. Again, Cisco has got show IP interface brief, I can run it. Arista, I can run it like show interfaces status, something like that I can just do. So these commands need to be properly, what I say, you should know that. Then only we can able to integrate the command into the Ansible. Then more resources for innovation, increase accountability and compliance. Yeah, Ansible has been adopted for quite a long time, and it has been going with all the security compliance and others. Otherwise, it is admitting that all these things we don't require to know anything about that, which is going to breach our security things or something. So everything is coming under the inline. There is no need to worry about that. It's going to break up my configurations or something. So that is more important. Whether you are constructing or something, it's okay. It's not a bigger issue, but it should not deconstruct it. Means it should not impacting any network which has already been running on that. So whenever we try to come out with a new solution, in the sense, we will be first thinking that production should not be stopped. My production should not get affected on this. That is what the more things which we will be keeping in our mind. Every manager will be looking for that. The whole management will be looking for that. So that enterprise impact they are talking about. The next slide I'll go for. What is Ansible? First, we need to know what is Ansible. Ansible is an open source automation tool or platform used for IT tasks such as configuration management, application deployment, intra-service orchestration, and the provisioning. Configuration management, we can modify the configuration, either deleting or adding the configurations and verifying it. Application deployment, if you'd like to deploy certain applications on a certain service, we can do that. Intra-service orchestration. Orchestration is a very huge topic. I will be discussing it later. And provisioning. Provisioning is nothing but pulling a new network into our own management network or something like that. That is called the provisioning. Then next, automation is crucial these days with IT environments that are too complex and often need to scale too quickly for system administrator and developers to keep up if they had to do everything manually. So now, we've been doing with everything on a CLI. Of course, I'm a CLI guy, command line interface. We just need to configure the routers and logging into that and troubleshooting and all these things. We are having the too much complicated things. Definitely, we are doing that for last 10 years. We've been doing the same thing. So that automation now has come to us like it is very easy for us. So we can reduce our task. We can reduce our number of commands which we are running on that. We can reduce like the timing and other things when we try to manage the multiple devices in one shot. That is what they are saying, that automation is crucial for this. It's free up the time and increases efficiency. And Ansible is rapidly rising on the top of the world of automation tools. Definitely, as far as the my industry is concerned, means networking and what I say, ISP environment. I work for most of the ISPs in India. ISP environment, internet service providers I'm talking about, and maybe like mobile service providers also there. Jio and Reliance and the people who are Bharti Airtel and all. We've been doing a lot of automation stuff on this Ansible. So this Ansible is like increasing the efficiency. Definitely, we are having enough free time for us to run the commands and other things. So automation tool, this is the number one automation tool which we will be using on. And the people are having with some kind of a third-party solutions also coming for network automations. But those are all based on, I can even find out that what sort of a script they are running it. Like mostly like it is an Ansible script only they are running it. So better you can deploy the Ansible on your own. You don't need to pay any money again to the third-party solutions or something to manage your network. So that is my concern. The next advantages of Ansible, free. It is a free open source tool. Anyone can download and can start write the code. You don't need to pay any money to anyone. And you don't need to worry about that. You just need to give some subscription for that. No subscription, no membership, no upgradations, a cost, nothing is been there. So it is completely a free tool. Very simple and set up and use. No special coding skills are necessary. Definitely. Ansible playbooks are like exactly like a storybook. You can just directly, that's why they named it like a playbook. You are very much ready to play with their books. Then powerful Ansible lets you model even highly complex network inflows. And flexible, you can orchestrate the entire application environment no matter where it is deployed. You can also customize it based on your needs. Agentless, you don't need to install any other software or firewall ports on the client system you want to automate. You also don't have to set up a separate management infrastructure. Nothing is required at all. It is just an ASM. We are just doing it like an SSH. If the SSH has been allowed to get into the device, in the sense Ansible code can run. That's as simple as that. Efficient, because you don't need to install any extra software. There is more room for application resources on your server. That's why you don't require any heavy great space for that, or heavy automation things. What is that? CPU and memory utilizations. These are all, nothing has been there. It's quite very free, and it takes only very lesser amount of the CPU cycles and other things. So that's why it is very much efficient. The next one, Ansible features and capabilities: configuration management, application deployment, orchestration, security and compliance, cloud provisioning. Very much important point. That is the cloud provisioning. Ansible can be provisioned in any cloud which is available now: Amazon, Azure, Microsoft Azure, and what I can say, GCP, CenturyLink Cloud, and DigitalOcean. Any cloud you take that, we can start implementing the Ansible solutions for that. Let's see one by one. Configuration management. Ansible is designed to be very simple, reliable, consistent for configuration management. The configurations are very simple data descriptions of infrastructure, and are both readable by humans and parsable by machines. All you need to start managing systems is a password or an SSH key. That's what as simple as that. I was telling you the same. When you can do the SSH to the device, you can run the code. That much simple it is. An example how easy Ansible make the configuration management. If you want to install an updated version of a specific type of software on all the machines in your enterprise, all you have to do is to write out all the IP addresses of the nodes, also called as a remote hosts, and write an Ansible playbook to install it on all the nodes, then run the playbook from your control machine. That's much enough. We just need to create a host file. In that host file, you just give the name and the IP addresses of the host you would like to control it. Then you start running the commands and make available that SSH can be done on the remote devices. Then the Ansible will do the rest of the things. Means it has been done in maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes. It depends on the iOS size and other things which you are upgrading on that. This is nothing but a configuration management. Means like we can do every other configuration. In Cisco routers, we can write the access lists. We can do the OSPF configuration. We can do BGP configurations. We can do, like just to pull out the reports of that, what is the log for that particular day or something like that. We can pull it up like a syslogs can be taken from the Linux servers. We can take the Windows event logs also, it is possible. So that is nothing but a configuration management which you are talking about. The next is application deployment. Let's say quickly, easily deploy multi-tier apps. You won't need to write custom code to automate your systems. You list the tasks required to be done by writing a playbook. Ansible will figure out how to get your system to the state you want them to be in. In other words, you won't have to reconfigure applications on every machine manually. When you run a playbook from your control machine, Ansible uses SSH to communicate with the remote host and run all the commands tasks. Simple application deployment, configuration management, cloud provisioning, everything you require to have an SSH. I'm talking so simply, like people maybe think is, oh, it's easy like that. Definitely it is very easy. Because of the Ansible is like a gift for the network engineers, I can say that. I don't know anything about application people and all, because I don't work on applications, I work on mostly on routers and other things. The next one is an orchestration. As the name suggests, orchestration involves bringing different element into a beautifully run whole operation, similar to the way of music conductor brings the notes produced by all different instruments in a cohesive artistic network. For example, with application deployment, you need to manage not just the front end and the back end services, but the databases, networks, storage, and so on. So you also need to make sure that all the tasks are handled in a proper order. Ansible uses automated workflows, provisioning more to make orchestrating tasks way. Means in the sense, we can entirely controlling the network, not only the network devices. We can even control the databases. We can even control the application servers. We can control the chat servers. Whatever the services which we have, we can able to control that by one single playbook. It's possible. You just need to make some sections of that. Which server is going to talk? What kind of an automation is going to happen? So that sections, if you make it properly, then you will be able to run that. So we will be getting the errors, but we can just go ahead and make it out all these things. It doesn't require anything in the programming skills from your side. That's what I would like to mention it very strongly. You don't require any programming skills. You just need to know the commands which we are running on the particular platform. Okay. Like that, we can go ahead with it. So little bit of knowledge on the network side, little bit of knowledge on the application side. Once you have it, the people who are already been working on that, they can implement the Ansible solutions very easily. This is mostly like people are on the management side, means like network management, database management, application management. Like that we can do. We can even implement the entire code also through the Ansible. That is possible. And the next one, I can say security and compliance. As with the application deployment, site-wide security policies, such as firewall rules or locking down users, can be implemented along with other automated processes. If you configure the security details on a control machine and run the associated playbook, all the remote hosts will automatically be updated with those details. That means you won't need to monitor each machine for security compliance continually, manually. And for extra security, an admin user ID and password are not retrievable in plain text on Ansible. Means you require to have like encrypted one. So that's why it has been very much of a security, and it goes out to everything is in the compliance, which we can even dig up a lot of documents on the Ansible document site. We can pull up all the compliance and security points of that. We can give it to the corporate people so that they will start depending on the Ansible solutions. Then the last one is like a cloud provisioning. The first step in automating your application's life cycle is automating provisioning for your infrastructure. With Ansible, you can provision cloud platforms, virtualized host, network devices, and bare metal servers. We can even deploy that in the virtual machines, like in your VMware network, and you can deploy it in the Amazon cloud, and you can deploy it in Azure cloud, Microsoft Azure cloud, Google cloud, any cloud we can do that. So it is like ultimately it is going to be a code which is going to run on that certain applications on something. From the control machine will be able to run on it. The next one, what are the devices under the networks Ansible can manage? A10 networks, Apsara EOS, Arista EOS, IO Network, Big Switch, Cisco, every other platform on Cisco, Cumulus Networks, Cumulus Linux, Dell EMC, FI, Big IP, that is nothing but a load balancer, FortiOS, that's a Fortinet firewall, Junos, that is a Juniper firewall, Lenovo, NetVisor, Open vSwitch. We can do with all the Open SDN also, it can be controlled with an Ansible. It's very easy. Palo Alto Networks, Nokia SROS, YOS. Then we can get into the another one like a web infrastructure and clustering, Apache, which we normally do for web servers and other things on the Linux platform, Consul, Django management, Jabbird, HT password, JBoss, Jenkins, Jira, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is also possible. Let's Encrypt, Pacemaker, Supervisor D, Zookeeper. So many web infrastructure and clustering softwares which we can use, automate with Ansible. Databases, InfluxDB, Redis, React, MySQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Vertica. There are so many other databases also that I didn't mention it here. So normally people will be working on MySQL or MSSQL something. So Redis is very much in demand nowadays. So we will be using it on web applications on a Redis database we use. That also can be automated with an Ansible. Advanced configuration management, clustering, commands, crypto, database files, identity, inventory, managing, messaging, monitoring, network, notification, packaging. What is not there? Everything is possible with an Ansible. And people are having that mentality that Ansible is a Red Hat product. It is not a Red Hat product. Please understand that it is not a Red Hat product. Red Hat has taken that Ansible and they modified certain things and they created an Ansible Tower. That is one of the software they are selling for money. Means like Ansible Tower is required. Ansible Tower is nothing but a control machine. In the Ansible tower, you require to pay some subscription fees for that to the Red Hat so that you can start orchestrating it. And Ansible Tower gives you more GUI kind of an interface. You don't need to write any kind of a code or something like that. It will be giving you some automated codes for you. Just here and there, you just need to edit things, but you can do that. But I would like you to say that people like who are coming in the network side, please try to write some code so that we are ready for our future, because now the future is going to be like a coding only. In any platform, whenever we are going for the coding, the people are asking. Automation, they are asking. DevOps tools, they are asking for that. So please don't go for again and again graphical user like a GUI mode or something like that. Please try to come into the CLI. Start writing your own playbooks. It is very simple. It is very simple like in ABCD. It's like LKG students can start writing on this Ansible codes and all. It's very easy. That's why please don't. But the product which I was telling, that Ansible Tower, that has been provided by the Red Hat, and they will be charging. Definitely, they will be charging for that, so that you will get a GUI kind of an interface. You will be managing all the devices with it. The next one, Ansible architecture. How the Ansible is working. Modules, plugins, inventories, playbooks, APIs. APIs is nothing but application programmer interfaces. Modules are like a small programs that Ansible pushes out a control machine to all nodes and the remote hosts. These modules are executed using the playbooks, and they control things such as services, packages, and files. Ansible executes all modules for installing updates or whatever the required task is, and then removes them when finished. Ansible provides more than 450 modules for everyday tasks. Do we require them all? Nothing. For networking infrastructure, we've been using not even more than 10. I'm telling you, I'm using this. Not even more than 10 modules I'm using in my all. Cisco and Arista mostly we will do, and Juniper firewalls we are having that, and some extreme switches which are there somewhere here and there. We just do that, and FI load balancer is somewhere there. It is very much implementable. Like APIs are there available for FI, so we can get into that. Every other vendor site we can pull up that all the modules which are compatible with the Ansible. So we just need to integrate that modules. That modules are nothing but which has been very much tested and verified by the particular vendor itself. That modules, what the modules are nothing, and that modules will be interacting with the Ansible to give the reports to the Ansible. That's all. We are not going to install anything on from the Ansible side. We will make the device ready for us to talk to the Ansible. That's all we have. The next is the plugins. As you probably already know, many other tools and platforms, plugins are extra pieces of code that augment functionality. Ansible comes with a number of plugins, but you can write your own as well. That is what the beauty. Action, cache, callback, plugins are 3 examples. We don't use much of a plugins and all. And inventories, all machines that you are using with Ansible, the control machine plus nodes are listed in single simple file, along with their IP addresses, databases, servers, and so on. This inventory, I can call it as like a host file. Once you register with the inventory, you can assign variables to any one of the hosts using the simple text file. You can also pull inventory from the sources like EC2. Definitely, what Amazon, we will be doing like within a EC2 and databases and all like that in Amazon cloud, we're using these inventories for that. And AWS supporting that very much of these Ansible tools and all. The next, it's a playbook. This is very important because we are going to write a lot of playbooks according to our own requirement. They are written in YAML file. YAML. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody is asking something. Okay, no problem. I'll go ahead. Ansible playbooks are like instruction manuals. Yes. Yes.
Ramnath, I have a question. Okay, so can we use Ansible for reporting as well? Like suppose I have a ticketing tool ServiceNow, and I used to run reports like SLA reports or outage reports. Can we integrate Ansible in ServiceNow and pull out the reports?
ServiceNow has got its own tools to do all these things, right? Because it's a paid platform, so you should be having all the tools available for that. But if you'd like to integrate it, then I just need to verify because ServiceNow we don't use that. We are using some different tool that is being managed, that has been created by our own people. We are not doing the ServiceNow. So that is being integrated with the Ansible. That is like some other name is ticketing tool has been there. So we can definitely do that because Ansible is an open source tool. It should be having some room for development under the ServiceNow also. But I can refer the doc and I can inform you about that. That definitely I can say that. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, fine. And so at the end of the session, will you be able to provide us the links or the sources through where we can learn more about the playbooks and the modules? Because we are like a dummy in Ansible.
This session that I would be conducting the classes for Ansible also. Okay. So I'm a professional trainer, which I've been using this training for last. I've been doing this training for last 10 years or something. I've been into the networks for last 10 years more than that. So I've been doing the training also. If you're looking for Ansible training, you can talk to me. Not an issue. I can give you multiple platform vendors and otherwise all the things, and I will be able to give that. So I will be giving the links also, like no worries, because I take everything from the Ansible side only. It is more open to all the general public than to me. Like I'll give you all the information whichever it is required, links and playbooks writing and the examples, like and sample notebooks, everything I'll give. The sample playbooks and all, everything I'll give. No worries. So Ansible playbooks are like a
Yeah, thank.
yeah, okay. Instruction manuals for the task.
It will be it will be really helpful for the like our network engineers to run that modules and like do the configuration management or the provisioning. If we get the samples, it will be really helpful for us to uh, just go and do that.
Yeah, see, I have around 50 to 60, around 60 playbooks which I already made it for my own network. Okay,
Wow, that is awesome.
yeah, that involves many devices, including Cisco, Arista, Juniper, Extreme, FI load balancer, and Fortinet firewall, and Checkpoint firewall, and other things, which we are working with many type of vendors as well, because our network is so huge. So that's why we look for something like an open source tool which can talk to everything. Even if you go for a third party tool or something like that, they will be having some restrictions on that. Certain devices doesn't support that. We need to go back to them and asking them to create a module for that. Then we can talk to that. So we just sat down and we start implementing the Ansible only. Last 3-4 years we've been doing the Ansible mostly. And along with it, Python has also been done. Python, the people are doing it like more who are having a very good experience on Python, they are doing it. More than Ansible, we can do a lot of things in Python. But last session I took it on Python. People are less interested in Python because it requires some very much of patience, as well as the Python core Python knowledge is required for to write the codes on the Python. But here in Ansible, it's more of an English based thing. It's like very easily to understand that. So that's why people are going more towards the easier thing, like definitely, yeah, they don't want to spend their time and burning the night oil to find out what is going on and all. But it will definitely help you. But I'm telling you, Ansible is using near about 60% of the Python codes only inside, but it has been totally hidden on that. So, okay, anyway, I will take up this when you come to the session. I can't give everything here. Anyway, so YAML code, it has been written on YAML. Either you can write it in JSON or YAML. We will be using Ansible mostly on YAML code. YAML means YAML ain't markup language. YAML is not a markup language. That is called YAML, ain't markup language. It's a human readable data serialization language. Markup language, it's not a markup language. It means you can just click and go somewhere like that. It is not possible. Here we will be writing the entire code in just a normal notepad only. Small notepad is enough for you to write the code. I'm telling you, you don't require any extra software or application package to write the code or something. Nothing. Microsoft is giving some visual code and other people are giving now. Nothing is required here. You can just write it in a normal notepad. You take it and write that code. It is going to work out. Playbooks are really at the heart of what makes Ansible so popular, because they describe the task to be done quickly and without the need for user to know or remember any particular syntax. See that so simple is, you don't need to remember any syntax at all. Not only can they declare the configurations, but they can orchestrate the steps of any manually ordered task and can execute tasks at the same time or at different times. That's all. It is nothing but scheduling. Scheduling maybe like Friday evening 5 o'clock, I just need to take the backup. So I can schedule it here. That is possible. And you would like to run it now only. I can do that now. That is nothing but an orchestration. So now then the third point is each playbook is composed of one or more multiple plays. And the goal of a play is to map the group of hosts to a well-defined roles represented by the tasks. So that is very much concise. Each playbook is composed one or multiple plays. Plays in the sense nothing but on tasks which we are saying. So we can make it as a particular sections of that. Each section will be doing certain tasks. That is nothing but a play. And the goal of a play is to map a group of hosts to well-defined roles. So I can even just write one playbook to talk to the multiple devices to do multiple operations by making the sections of it. That is what been represented by the tasks. And the next, APIs. APIs we should know, that is an application programming interfaces are available so that you can extend Ansible connection types. Meaning more than just SSH for the transport. We are not depending on only for SSH. We will be doing some more on APIs also. APIs are used for configuration purposes, module level configurations, which we can do that. For API, using the APIs and all, you require to have some knowledge on coding side. Definitely it is required. I don't want to hide anything. We require to know, understand, because there is a next level of Ansible coding is like using APIs and plugins for orchestrating and other things. Then the next one, So this is an Ansible docs, which I was telling you, try to give it to you like Ansible docs. This is nothing but it's open to all. It's an Ansible docs.ansible.com / Ansible latest index.html public cloud gates. We can do use it on like how to implement the Ansible on public clouds like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. YAML syntax guide has been there. Syntax is very simpler one. Like use use all small letters, something like that. It will go, and you will be using that spacing is required for to write it something. So that syntax guide has been given on this. So these links I took it from the internet only. You can also access that. There is no which I am created on my own or something. We always use the docs which are given by the Ansible. And people, there are so many people are writing the blogs on Ansible. Like, please don't go with that because they may be writing it on their own and which may not be working at all. Before implementing anything on your production side, please try to take on certain platforms like GNS3 or something. I would like to show you some other small demo here with 2 Cisco routers. I just put on that. I would like to run some certain Ansible playbooks to show you all these things. And you don't need to write any playbook also. Like we can run some raw commands. Raw commands in the sense, just a one-liner you can write it and you can get the report also. At the time only it is required for you. You don't need to write an exact playbook for to pull up every information on this. That is also possible. So I would like to show you some of the things. Before that, this is my contact information if you like to have some kind of a training or any kind of a sessions if you're looking for. And I am very much ready to provide that. I am flexible on the timings. You can contact on me. You can just note down all these things. And all the people whoever is attended this demo or sessions, I will be sending them the video as well as the link, the PPT and other things. I will share it out. You can have it at any time. And you can get into my Facebook page also. You can contact me on Skype and you can send an email and you can talk to me on WhatsApp or even you can call it up. That is possible. I would like to show you certain things on the GNS3. GNS3 I installed already. I guess I might have to share my screen for you to see the GNS3. Let me share the screen. Screen share. It is the GNS3. I will share it. I guess you can see my screen now. GNS3. On the left hand side, you can see network automation. On the right hand side, you can see the routers, router 1 and 2. The switches which is getting connected on this. And I connected my VMware network adapter on VMware 18, something like. So this is a network automation which I have. And let me start this network automation here. It was already there, not there. Yeah, it is already there. So I'll just show you this. Let me, I would like to share this also. Yeah, I guess you can see this now. So this is a network automation thing which I would like to show you. This is nothing but it's like a normal Unix box. And Ansible is very much easily, we can run it on a Unix box better. You can take it as on a Linux box or something like that. It is easy for you to understand that. Basic Linux operating system skills you may require to understand the Ansible, because Ansible, and when you try coming out to the automation tools or something, better you can start doing things with the Linux side. So don't stick it to that Windows or something. It may not help you a lot because ultimately you will be ending up doing something on the Linux automations only. So this particular network automation box, which is running on a Linux box, and it is like something is running on some of the tool like a kernel which is running. You can see it's GNU Linux, and it is a Ubuntu box. I can just say. So I would like to show you the configurations of this. If config will be showing me the IP address of this network automation box. Okay, this is the IP address which I got it. And from here, I will be able to talk to the Cisco routers. This is a Cisco router. I can just say this is a show version which I'm running on this, which I'm running on the version 15.2. And this is a Cisco platform, which is having this interfaces on this. And this is a 200 is an IP address for this. And one more router which I have, that is an R2. That is a show version I can show. And it is a 15.2. Again, the same box, like 2 boxes which I am having that. So these 2 boxes, I just need to make the connectivity between that 172. Let me ping it out. 172.16.230.165. That is my network automation box. Let me ping the same thing from R2. So I guess it is working. I guess I'm sharing this screen also. Yeah, it is showing you. Okay, sharing it. So now I am going to run certain commands on this to know that, but I would like to show you what are the commands I am going to run on this. And this is the playbook. Let me show you that. What is the playbook? This was one I was looking for you to say that. Let me share this notebook. Where is the notebook? Yeah, this is a notebook. I can show you. So you can just see that this Cisco router need to be made ready for to talk to the Ansible host. That's what I just given an IP address here. Then I given that username and password I just given. I made it for SSH available for this. So you can just, when I create that crypto key for that generate RSA with the domain name on this ansible.cisco, then I will be able to talk to this router through the SSH. I need to apply that in the line BTY04. There's a very simple task. CCNA guys, we must be doing this. And transport input all means like I can able to talk to the Cisco router through the SSH. So I can able to do that SSH from here. Then network automation, this is a network automation which is going for. So I can try log into that Cisco router from here. I would like to test it out. I can just give that SSH -L. That is a username is Cisco. Login as Cisco. Hello, everyone is there? Hello. Guess all are listening?
Yes, we are here, but the screen sharing has stopped.
Yeah, one second, because there is some connection problem. So 1 second. I'll go back to this network automation. Now you can see that?
Once it comes, yeah, it's coming up. Can you show the topology one more time?
Topology is a very simple one. It is like a normal router.
Can you please show the topology one more time?
This is the topology which I have now. Let me share my topology also, like you can just see that. You share, this is a topology screen. Can you see my screen topology? It's a simple one. Network automation box which I installed on that GNS3, the left hand side. On the right hand
come yet. It's still not come yet.
Not coming up. Maybe my link is the problem. My link is giving some certain issue. I guess now it is coming up. I guess maybe. Nowadays, all the links are having the problems to see that. Let me wait until you are seeing it. Is it visible now? At least now? Not yet.
We can see the command prompt screen. Just minimize that.
Yeah, that I already minimized that.
Okay, can see now.
We are able to.
Okay, now see, this is a very simple topology which I created for this lab only for this demo. But we will be doing a lot of things when session has been starting on this. So network automation is nothing but a small Unix box, Linux box which I downloaded that I installed it on the GNS3. This is a GNS3 platform. There's for network, like what is a simulations like we can do. And there's a switch which I pick it up from here. There's a switch I can have or all Arista, everything is there. And this is the two routers which I am putting on this one. So I can log in from here to do all the commands on this. That's what I'm doing. Nothing so very much, complex on this. So let me go back to the network. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because we're trying with the GNS3 as well, but there isn't a stable version of GNS3 releasing currently. So can you suggest us a stable version of GNS3 where all
GNS3 you can take the latest one, 2.220 something.
Yeah, that's the version we are facing issues with.
Okay, I'm using this version. Right?
That's the version.
227 I'm taking it.
Yeah.
227 which I am doing that with. I don't have any problems at all. You can take this 227.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now I will be running this SSH to this device. So the password is going to be Cisco only, Cisco, I kept it. So now I will be able to get into that Cisco router. I want to verify my connectivity on this. So let me come out of this. Then I'll go to the second one, 01. The password is Cisco again. So I can just check in here. R1, R2, I can able to see it on this. So now I will be able to run the commands from means like Ansible commands, which I can run it from the network automation. So I guess you can see my notepad. Can you see my notepad? My notepad is ready. Can you see that? Okay, let me run this command. This is a raw command which I can tell you. So from the network automation things, which I'm going to show it. So this is the command which I'm going to run. This is a raw command which can be run from the Ansible host. I can get it at the rates Ansible host. I can say Ansible control tower, something, anything I can say. This is a command which I'm going to run this. Ansible is going to do that R1. It is going to log into the R1. Minus M is nothing but a module. Module is a raw module. And minus A, the command which I'm going to run is a show version command. Minus U. And log into the SSH using the Cisco as a username. Minus K. Minus K is nothing but ask for a password or something. So now it is asking the SSH password. I'll just give that Cisco. So I will be able to get this output on this. Now I got that output. So this output has been given in that R1. Success, it is saying RC0. Then I just say I run the command show version command on this. So I was able to get this all R1 update. You can just see that. And it is giving that if I would like to run any other command as well, I can just do that. Show IP interface. I can do Cisco. So now I am giving that IP interface brief command, which I will be able to get this R1. I logged into that R1 device. So I got this success on this and I am getting the interface on this. Interface status on this. I can do the same thing with the R2 also. SSH password need to be provided. So now I got it on R2. What is the R2 device IP? It has been showing here. And I'm getting the R2 as a success. Interfaces and everything it's been showing, which has been configured on this link. So this raw is one of the module which can be used for immediate results to get it. Like you don't need to write any playbook for to get all the information or something, but you can just run it with the raw command. So you will get everything on this raw command itself. So the next level which you would like to do, like we can have some other commands as well. This is the core configurations which are happening. Uptime and all, I am able to see that on this. Let me show you one other playbook. It's a simple playbook. I'll show you. Simple nodes. Let me take that. First, like we can run many other commands as well on this. Let me try this command. Let me try this one. Like, so it is going to give up the. Let me give the notebook. So this is nothing but I was talking about the playbook, like so the highlighted one. Backup the show version and other user level commands. Hosts, all hosts. Gathering fact is false. We are not getting the facts of this. And connection is local. Task, run multiple commands on this one. Name we are giving them. iOS command is a show version command. And print the output. Debugging. And it is giving the standard out lines. And name of the file. It will be saving the file to some other locations on this. I just need to make these files unavailable. So it may run it because I'm not prepared for this. I just given this one like. So I can just give, this is the command which I'm going to run on this. Ansible playbook get show version.yaml. YML will be the what do you say? It's a YAML code which we are making it. All the commands which we are going to run it like that should be having the extension as a YML extension. With that, we will be able to create a file and like a playbook file, which we will be making the playbook file on this. And I need to make an output directory, so that because I given the output directory as here, directory is going to be that slash output or something. So let me make one directory here in the network automation, mkdir output. So I can just say it's output directory has been there. From here I will be able to get this one. And before that, I would like to tell you about the getarp .yaml. This is one of the YAML file. It's one of the playbook. This playbook, it's saying that getting the ARP informations on the routers which are running. ARP is nothing but like what is the resolution has been done. Means like when I just see, if I go to that show ARP, if I'm saying, I'll be getting the two interfaces which are there. Means through that fast Ethernet 1.0, which I logged into that 165 and 200 something, which I can get that. Then here, if I say show ARP, I'll be getting on this router. So this ARP, like I'll be able to get the output of the ARP on these two routers. Hosts, every host I'm doing that. We are not going to take any facts or something. We will be getting only the show ARP command on this. Let me run this command like get ARP like that. The command is going to be like Ansible get ARP, one second. Get ARP.yaml. Yeah, I'll be running this command Ansible playbook get ARP YAML like this. So this is the command which I'm going to run it. Ansible playbook is a command, and get ARP YAML is the file, and login as a user called Cisco and asking the password for that. So I'll give you the password as a Cisco. Now there are two hosts are there in this. One is an R1 and R2. So now it is getting the ARP information. Now it is logging into R1 and R2. It is going to show the ARP table for me. It takes some time.
Again, we are not able to see the screen.
Yeah, the link is giving a very big problem for me. Let me get into that screen so you can see that now. So okay, I guess you can see my screen now. No?
No.
Still not coming up. Share screen. Let me get that. Now I am sharing it. Now you can see that, I guess. It's a link issue. My link is not so stable today.
Okay. Now we are able to see.
Now you can say that. Okay, this is the command we run on this. Ansible playbook get ARP YAML -u Cisco -k. Internet connection is unstable. What to do? Okay, Ansible playbook. That is the command which I need to run when I am running the YAML code, which I'm going to run in that sense. I just need to run the playbook. So command is Ansible playbook, Ansible -playbook. Then the YAML code name, file name. Then -u, login as the user as Cisco, -k, and look for a password. So when I'm running this command, I am getting this information. This is the code which I write on that. This particular file is containing this code. Get the ARP information on the hosts which are specified. One is an R1 and an R2. Host file, I already specified this. So it is getting the ARP output of the routers which is getting logged in. This is the task. So there is a 3 sections. First, it is playing that one. Then it is task is running on that. It is logging into R2, then R1. Then there is some error messages. You can just leave that. And task debug. It is getting the debugging and it is getting the information from that. And this is the protocol output lines, printing the output lines on this. 165 is there. The ARP of that 165 is this. ARP of the 200 is this. This is on the R1 router and this is on the R2 router. I am getting that internet address and the hardware address, IP address and hardware address. So it is giving the playing the recap, what all things has been done, what is not been done like. So R1 okay, R2 okay, because it is getting the 2 outputs from the R1 and 2 outputs from the R2. Changed means it can able to log into that. It is not unreachable, it is 0, unreachable is 0. And R4, R5, because I mentioned some other routers also in the same host file. And in the topology that R1, R2, other than R1, R2, there is no other routers. So this code cannot log into that R3, R4. That way it is saying that unreachable is 1 and unreachable is 1. So this is a very simple code which I run it on the R1 and R2 to get the ARP table of the routers which are having it. You can even directly go and see it out. These are all the 2 ARPs which I am getting on R1, and these are all the 2 ARPs which I am getting on R2. So the same I got it from the Ansible host, Ansible, what I say, Ansible control tower I can call. So like that we can write many other codes as well. So a number of codes which I can show it to you on this one. Let me share this again. Notepad. Okay. Like that I can able to create many like codes as well. And I can just give you some certain things. Minus M is nothing but a module. Minus A is an argument. Minus U is a username. Minus K prompt for the password. Which I'm giving the command here like a minus A, which I was used to give that when I'm giving that minus A. This is what like minus A is an argument which we are giving it. Module, then module name I'll have to give it on this. Asking the password using the remote user. M is a module name, like that. We just need to run it. And like so many playbooks which we can keep on writing on this, not a problem. So I will be showing you some other playbook as well. And let me show it to you something on OSPF something. Ansible OSPF table. So many which I have. Get facts on Juniper, show version on Juniper. I can see Ansible with the Cisco and Arista. Every other platform we can able to log in, but this currently I didn't include that the Arista box or something. We can get that all, not a problem. And OSPF, it's here. Let me show you the OSPF. See, I guess you can see my, it's joining again. I guess you can see my notebook. Yes, you can see that. Instead of specifying each and every router by the name and the playbook, we can specify the GNS3 iOS group section as host in the playbook. So all routers under the GNS3 iOS group section will be configured accordingly. Cat hosts. This is a Linux command which will show the host file R2, R3, R4, R5, something is there. So I am getting that multiple OS, putting that multiple OS command on this YAML file, means like a script file I'm writing it. Manage GNS3 device, that is a name, description I'm giving it. Hosts is GNS3 iOS. Gather facts, we don't want that. Connect it locally. And then variations, username is, variables are like a CLI. Username is Cisco, password is Cisco, transport CLI. CLI is through the CLI, we are going to get that all. Task, OSPF enabling means I'm going to configure the OSPF on these routers. iOS configure, this is the command which you need to provide. Then authorize, yes, we've been authorized for to do that. And the parents, we just need to run the command router OSPF1 in Cisco routers, which we are doing that. And the lines which we are going to do after the router OSPF, we just need to run this command. Network all 0, all 255, area 0 means every other network which has been configured under the interfaces will be advertised under the OSPF configurations. And after that, register, print the output, debug, variable, print the output. I would like to see that whether it has been done or not. This is the way that we will be doing it. When I am running this Ansible code, Ansible playbook, I'll be seeing that it will be logging into every other router. It is saying the task is done. Then R1 print output changed false, 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 false. It is saying. Then it will be running like that because it must have been already run on that. That's why it is changed false. Otherwise, it will be showing you like whether they are running it or like. So like I have so many, many kind of, some of the YAML files are there. We can even use it for configurations. We can pull out the reports. We can check the status of that. We can get the health of the router, means like seeing the CPU utilization or something. We can just run some raw commands and we can do a lot of things with Arista also. Let me give you some Arista. Yes. This is an Arista box. What all the Arista things are there? Like we are getting that, and this is a Cisco router which has been done on that. Then Arista, I'll be getting that Arista output also here. You can just see Arista output, shared connection to the Arista on this one. So I can run it with the raw commands by just seeing this Arista, Ansible, all raw command which I'm running on the show IP OSPF neighbor. The command which I can run on that, it will be showing me the neighbors which are there in the Arista box, and Arista 1, Arista 2, Cisco 1, like that, many devices which we can log into that, because that's what I was saying. Like you can have multiple devices, multiple vendor devices can be put in together towards the code which we are running on this. That's possible. In the playbook also we can able to run that. So like multi-vendor integration is very much possible. Configurations wise, it's very much possible. Pulling out report also, it is very easier for us. So as of, I just try to show you some other things which I can cover it up, and we can do some kind of variable complex commands as well. Entire configurations we can give that, modifications we can make that, access clicks configurations we can do, BGP, OSPF outputs we can pick it up, and we can write the prefix lists for this. Prefix lists are very much importance in the the BGP configurations and all. So every other configuration is possible on Ansible. But when we will be using the Ansible, in the sense we will be using it for multiple bulk routers as well. Like when we are going for 1 or 2 routers and all, it is not required. We can directly configure, directly log into that, and we can configure that. Sorry. So the same thing when we go for like multiple routers or something, we can get into that. And that's why I would like to show you on this demo. Hope you all enjoyed the demo, and you can contact me for any kind of requirements for any trainings or something on Ansible. Before getting into that, like network automation or something like that, I will be giving you the proper heads up for Ansible, how to write the playbook, what is Ansible, how to install Ansible in Linux platform, a little bit of Linux basics also I will give you, because Ansible may give some lot of errors when we are installing in the Linux boxes, because we are running it from the CentOS Linux. We are running the Ansible for, I configured the Linux box as our control station to run the Ansible. So I will be giving you like Linux basics and Ansible installations. Then after Ansible installations, how to interact with the network and how to configure the playbooks, how to include the modules into that, how to go for a multi-vendor in this, like integrations. And we need to make all the devices to come under the Ansible perimeter, in the sense like Ansible should be able to get into the devices to pick up the things. So that every other vendor has got its own kind of a small little bit of configurations has to be done on their own boxes. That information so I'll give you. Currently, I am managing Cisco, mostly Cisco, then Arista boxes and data center switches, and Juniper firewalls. We've been doing that. FI load balancers are always there. For last 7-8 years, we've been doing FI load balancers. So every other device I would like to show you on Ansible management. Not only management, not only just pulling the reports, I'll give you the configuration changes, modifications, verifications, and pulling up things. And we can even do it for a Linux servers as well. We can even do it for like Windows servers to back up things. And the NetApp storages also can be done with the IBM NetApp storage, which people are doing. Some people are doing it. HP storage has also been there. They are also doing the Ansible things. So it is like wide variety of applications which we can utilize it with an Ansible. So please contact me on this above mentioned WhatsApp number. You can write it to me on my gmail.com, the address. I don't want to give my official address, so it will be a problem. So you can write it to me on StackRoute. I'll be giving the answers by late evening. I'll be giving you the answers for this. Not an issue. You can ping me on WhatsApp anytime. Whenever I'm free, that I'll come back to you on this. And for any other things, because I'm in very much experienced around the network industry, I've been doing a lot of corporate networks as well, corporate trainings as well. I'm giving that to the people. So you can contact me for that. And I guess I would like to stop this sessions on this one. If you have any questions, you can talk to me on this. Okay. Any other questions?
Ramnath, can you share the examples that what we can do with our what we can do in our network environment for the network?
What is the network requirement? it depends on the company which is going to decide that. In our company, we being the clients need to agree for that for any automation tool need to be given for this something. And moreover, it's our engineers, like the responsibility to go and talk to the management to go for certain kind of, to the, what I say, the automation things or something. Ansible is, but very easier to do that from network engineer point of view. I can just say it's very easier for us to implement these Ansible solutions. And somebody is asking, Gopal is asking that what is the duration of this course? It depends on this. Like if you would like to go for maximum, I'd like to make it out within a month or something. Maybe a month it may take. Weekends means like 4 weekends or 5 weekends we can do. And because I need to give the Linux background also for you, and Ansible installations also for you, because Ansible installations will be like trickier. Certain versions may not work properly, or certain versions will be working properly. So that I just need to work out with you. And so it may be taking a month. A month I can just say. A month it may take. It may take for finishing. For this course, for this Ansible.
Yeah, is it on weekly basis classes or weekdays classes?
It depends on like what is the timing which you are available. Either morning or evening, I'm available. I'm free until 9 in the morning, as well as evening, like around 7 to 9, 10, something like that. I'm free. Or weekend, Saturday, Sundays, I'm free. Okay. And Saturday, Sundays,
Okay.
definitely I'm free. I can give you some more time on Saturday, Sundays. That is very much possible. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, with the help of theory, so we can do the labs as well, right? Within that time.
Definitely. See, this is the tool which I'm going to use it for you. This GNS3 which I shown you. I can install the Nexus on this, Arista on this, Cisco on this, FI load balancers on this, and Checkpoint also on this. So we will be running the practical scenario based commands will be running on this. We'll be writing the playbooks for that to pick up all these informations. So that is going to be like online training. I can just say that directly we can directly working on the direct equipment itself. You'll be feeling that way. So I'm from the project side. I'm not a teacher or something like that.
Yeah, actually, I don't have any I don't have any knowledge on scripting or automation things. So
Yeah, everyone.
Can I learn from scratch?
Yeah, everyone actually. I'm not complaining the people with are not knowing any automation or something, but we are in a position that the situation has come to everyone in their head that we just need to go ahead and learning certain skills on scripting side so that we can survive in the market, because now it is 80% of the people are looking for cloud solutions only. In the cloud, in the sense, no equipment are installed. It's only the virtual machines are installed. So automation is very much easier when we go for a cloud solutions as well. So now we are in a position that we just need to do the on-premises as well as the cloud also. That's why we are facing some certain issues, because some older equipments are there which are not able to integrate it to the newer platform or something. Like that changes and all, like that is always there in our job. Like we have to face some challenges as well. But most people are now coming with the idea that they would like to go directly to the cloud solutions or something. It's easier for us. One way it is easier, other way like we just need to learn the cloud also. Mostly I'm working on AWS cloud, and Azure also I'm working, Microsoft Azure also I'm working on this. And many of the solutions which are giving on the AWS side, so automation on Ansible on AWS is very easier for us. We've been doing a lot of projects on this. So I will be giving you all these things. I don't want to keep anything hide or something like that. But we just need to prepare ourselves to have basic Linux knowledge and Ansible understanding completely, and little bit of Python is also required for you to understand certain commands or something. And writing the playbook is very important. I shown you that playbook is nothing but like a notepad file. It is nothing like commands or very functions calling and other things. Nothing is in there. Little bit of here and there. Certain things are required for to be running on. That I will be clearing it up with you. Not an issue. In a day or two, you will start your own script. I can tell you. I can definitely tell you that, because I also started in the same way. See, I've been a CCIE on routing and switching side, because I cleared that lab and other things long back. So we are doing only like directly getting into that SSH, that router, directly configuring CLI. But nowadays things are changing. We just need to get into some automation tool. Everyone is everyone is having some hesitation to touch into this software side or something. But we cannot, because industry demanding you. and the situation is demands you, so that we need to get into the, else we will be losing our opportunities. We will not be able to continue on the field where we are, because people who are coming out of the college, they are doing a good, rather than better than me, they are doing the good, like scripting, because they are equipped with that in their own things and all. So we just need to compete with the people who are very much fresher of. Definitely, I'm not shy to say that, or I'm not afraid of saying this to you. But people, they're doing really a good job than me. But I may be very good in the network side, which I can go troubleshoot and all these things and all. But once it is coming under writing the script for to manage things and all, like it's become harder. So we have to upgrade our skills. See, every day demands some upgrade from your side. So that is unavoidable completely. So I give it to my all people, like whenever the students when they're coming, please try to accommodate yourself and try to be flexible to changes which are happening on the IT side, because completely nowadays it is an automation only. Now we are all mostly like 90% of the people are working from home only. Then how it is possible? We can't go and touch equipment and start working on it. It is not possible. So this kind of an environment has been already predicted. That's why the cloud has come. Maybe I am managing many of the networks which
M5 class, but only has given like whole theory part for the 4 hours for 1 month. So there is not at all used used at all. So because I'm asking, so I want like theory as well as lab to do myself in my environment, whatever I'm doing right now in my
definitely. See, I used to write the codes. I am going to share the same codes to you, and I will ask you to do the codes in front of me and to run it on the equipments as well. So that's how it is goes. Like, it is more of a practical oriented. It is not like a theory, but you just need to have some concepts in you so that you will be start writing without making any syntax errors, mistakes. That is more important.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll give it to you anyway. Don't worry at all.
So like to get into all this course, so we need to any prerequisites to learn before this starting this course.
Not an issue. How many years experience you are? How many years you are into?
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
How many years you are into this network field? How many years you are working? Can you hear me?
Hello, Ram. Ram, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you now. Yes.
Ram, like you said that you will share, like you have 60 playbooks or sample files that you are using in your network. Can you share with us so that we can get an idea that what can be done with our network automation? So at least we can have an idea.
Yes. Definitely, I'll give it to you. Not a problem, because we've been using that one. So I'll share it with you. There is nothing new in that one because it has been taken from the docs only, but I customized it for our own network. Because the informations which we look for and the way we are configuring things, that I will be giving it to you. Not an issue. That will give you. Why not? But you need to have a proper.
Ram,
Yes.
What are the charges for this course, for this 1 month course?
I will send you the mail to you. Not a problem. Please get back to me. I will be sending you all these mails, but I will be collecting all the things from you people now. That I will be giving you in the chat itself. You can just give me that. Please give me your details so that I will get back to you with the fee and duration as and things. Please share your details here so that I can get it. Can get all info for you. I'll come back to you definitely on this course details and the few other things. You're getting my group chat in the Zoom itself?
Yeah.
Or you can ping me on this number. It's my WhatsApp number. The link is very bad today. I don't know. Yeah, I got very good. Other people?
So Ram, just want to know how you started, because at some point you were like us, and how you started your Ansible journey. For which documents you, which links, and how you went embarked on this journey.
Yeah, that's a good question. But when we try to talk about some kind of an automation or something, I'm from basically like I'm a Linux person. Means we used to work on Linux mostly. So I was looking for like anything open source tool which we can have it, because we don't want to spend any money on automation side, because we've been involved with the more engineers as well, with companies paying a lot of things, so they will not go for any paid software or something. So we started looking for like grinding something, digging something. I come to know that Ansible mostly people are doing Ansible like that. So I just started learning the Ansible in the Ansible site itself. We can install the Ansible in the Linux box very easily. So the versions we just need to look for, some prerequisites are there. With that, once we dependencies are solved, then we can install the Ansible and we start writing on that. That's all. And some of the Ansible scripts and some other things are in the doc, Ansible doc page. It is there already been there. We can get that one. That is not a problem at all. You can get all these things on the Ansible page itself. We can just see the Ansible doc on this. So I'll give it you on the chat.
So is there any
So
basic
do we need
server? So Ram, is there any server requirement to create a server that can talk to the devices? Is there any like a hard disk or RAM? Is there any server requirement for this?
Server requirements in the sense, yeah, the server is required. A normal server we can do that. It doesn't require that very heavy things or something. One other server you can spare it out like that to go for automation or something. That can be the controllable things. And when the reports are getting gathered from the devices, you should be having some certain space for to keep all these things. That you just need to, like normal production server, any one other server you can give it for this automation things. That is possible. Normal, like 1 or 2 TB, just give it.
Is there any RAM? So what about RAM?
Normally, any server which we are having around, I am using one other server for this one around 32 GB is there, 32 GB RAM. One other virtual machine I given it for this, and it's a Linux CentOS 7 is running on that, and the hard disk which I allocated is around 4 TB for that, because it is a huge network which we are taking that. But we don't keep all the reports in that server itself. I'll be keep on backing up it to the some other storage on this. S3 I'll keep it on. Amazon S3 I'll use to keep it on this. But for as a server, it's a 32 GB RAM is running, 4 TB hard disk is there. CentOS 7 is running on that. Linux box is running. So like digging
all these codes.
Yeah. Yes, somebody is asking.
If you want to learn all this, Ansible automation, network automation. So do we enough 16 GB RAM laptop?
Yeah, that is more than enough for to learn. Yes, definitely, because we will be installing the JNS3 on this in your Windows laptop. JNS3 with some 3-4 boxes on this. That is more than enough. 16 GB. My laptop, which I am giving this presentation, it's having only the 16 GB on this. I am running on this. VMware Workstation need to be installed, and JNS3 software has to be installed on this. Then we can start doing all these things. That is very much easier. A machine with the Windows 10 and 6 GB RAM and 500 GB hard disk. It's more than enough.
Okay.
It's enough. I'm giving in the chat on this.
So do you start any like course, if any like particular students join like 4 or 5, or you can start by one student or two?
People are ready around 3-4. It will be easy so that we can go for discussions and other things. It will be like you will be learning a lot. It depends on like people's timing and like their free times and other things. Better if I have some at least 2 to 3 students that they're coming, I'll be starting that. Not a problem. I'll start that.
Yeah.
So Ram, like you said.
Yeah, actually I'm planning to. Yeah, go ahead.
So Ram, like you said, it's a free automation tool that anyone can have, because organization people like they focus on the cost cutting and cost reducing as well. So it's a best tool that we have. So to install Python, do it require we have to spend any cost, or what do you suggest? Should we go with the Ansible only or with the Python?
No, Ansible you can directly install that. That involves the Python also in that. What is required for Ansible to run the Python module also get installed. We don't require to install the instance separately. We can just go ahead and install the Python, the Ansible itself. It will start working for us. No problems. That I will be taking up when you come for the sessions. I'll give you all the
Okay.
batch ABCD 1, 2, 3. We will start with it. No worries. Because everyone is a starter in this area. If I'm asking you to configure a Cisco router, means you will configure it. That's not a problem at all for you because you already know that. But this automation means like we need to start from scratch. Like an ABCD, we need to start. That I will do, definitely. No worries. Any other questions?
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
See, I'm actually from
So actually looking forward to join this.
Okay.
Yeah, looking forward to join the class.
So Ram, the playbooks that you share any box links.
Link is very bad. Do one thing, just type it out in the chat. No, I can get that, please.
I mean to say, the playbooks or the sample files that you have used in your network, are you going to share those files in the box links so that everybody can download, or you will send it to individually on WhatsApp or email?
No, means for this session you are telling.
No, not for this session only. Like you said, you have 60 sample files, right?
That I will give it to you once you join for the session or something. Like once you go for a training, then definitely I'll give it to you. That is only for you. It includes everything, the software as well as the playbooks, whichever I written for that, and all the devices, OS and everything. I'll share it to you. To all the students, I'll give it to you.
Okay. You will give only one if we join that session or training.
Yes, definitely. This is the demo session which I given you. Like you can go for it. But later, once you join that, then I will be giving you all these things.
Okay.
Yeah, that around many scripts are there, but because daily we must be making many things. But I would like to comprise it to certain level so that I given around 50 something around. That's more than enough. So any other questions? Please, people, please give me your email address and phone number if possible, so that I will come back to you about the session details and other details as well. Please, you can give it on the chat so that I can come back to you.
Yeah, just a minute, giving.
Is there any group that you have formed in WhatsApp or Telegram for this knowledge session?
It has already been there. It is running with me as called as a Ramnet is there. That is a WhatsApp group. You can send me one request. I will pull you into that group. It's possible. Okay, all has given. What about others? I seen many people are there, but they're not giving it. What's the problem? You can give me that. I will not be, disturbing you, but I'll just send you the details what we require for us.
Yeah.
It is not like institute I'm running on this, but it's like I would like to share the information whichever I have. So I will share it out to you. I see there are 10 people are there, only 2 I got. Please give it because I would like to close this session because it's getting late for me. I need to get back to work in the sense, but I just need to go to the another tab and start working on that. That's all.
So basically, you take the classes on weekends, right? That is.
It depends on the student. If student look for only weekends, then I'll go for a weekend only.
Yeah.
Days
Or else, we can you take on weekdays also, like after 5 o'clock? 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible about that. Like how many people are looking for that 5 o'clock? Because for one person means maybe an issue. If 2-3 people are looking for a evening 5 o'clock means I can make a batch and I can do that. It's easy for me. It depends. Like let's see how many are
Yeah,
interested
so
really coming back.
yeah, why? Because nowadays, anyway, we have the work from home, so we can do like weekdays also. Weekdays only. That's good for us. Why? Because we can get time to practice the things continuously on
Yeah,
after the class.
right. But at the same time, I should be also free.
I think you can, because we people are hesitating that what are the charges for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
course.
Yeah, I understand. So
Because
so
there are
based
only 10
upon
people.
your based
Because there are
upon
only
your
10 people,
convenience,
I
we can
think you can
plan.
share. If they are,
Link is bad from your side also, I guess. It's not giving me proper information.
Okay, so Ram, can you send me those details? So what is the course content that will be included in that course
Yes.
duration, and what is the course charges,
Yeah, definitely.
and how many days it will be, like what is the daily duration of the class?
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you that. Maybe 1 hour to 1 hour, maximum 1.5 hour will be continuing per day. That maybe like around 20 days we can able to.
Yeah, so I'm comfortable with weekdays as well as weekends, no problem.
Okay.
Weekends means whole weekends we can we have like free time, but weekdays means we can, if we take on weekdays, so we can practice on daily basis. That it will be good for us. Why? Because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can get more and more.
Yes. Yeah, definitely I'll do.
So guys, other guys, whoever interested, just let Ram know so we can start the course.
We can definitely start that immediately also.
Whoever interested.
Please give your Gmail address at least so that I can send you all information to the people. Other people are like they are quite
Sure.
they are. Okay, anyway, then I will be.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining, and I will be giving you this information to all.
Yeah.
I'll send you the.
Please send me those details so that I can.
Definitely, I'll be.
Okay, thank you, Ram, for this session.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Then I will be, closing this meeting. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.